Hello everybody, and today we are going to be talking about characters. Very, very important topic. So let's dive right in. Hi, my name is Hope. I am a writer and a actress from Fun Intended. Wow, I just made my role sound so different than I normally do. But I'm one half of Fun Intended, and today is the very day where we get to make your character profiles, discover their personality types, and their desires and fears and all that really good stuff that makes your story amazing, as well as character bonding activities. Character bonding activities, when you get to spend more time with just more character exploration and getting to experience things that your characters actually do on a daily basis. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is character profiles. These are fun and they're not so fun. It really depends if you like filling out questionnaires or not. I like doing that for some reason. Even though I'm not a very organized person, I like typing in this stuff. So yeah, that's what I like to do, and I have a template linked below for you guys to follow. I mashed Abby's with one I found on Pinterest, and I think that those two mixed together because the questionnaire I had before asked a little bit more questions about backstory, and we're going to be talking about backstories and how that all comes together. But of course, we have to talk about some mistakes that I have made in the past, so that way you guys do not fall into them and throw away your novels. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about with that? So when, like I said, my characters were just sitting talking, and I did something even worse than make them sit and talk. They never had an aha moment. Now, what exactly is an aha moment? An aha moment is where your character debunks their misbeliefs, and we talked a little bit about misbeliefs last week. Very simplified version of the aha moment, but an aha moment nonetheless. My characters never had this moment, which is so strange. I just was like, let them go on their little adventure, let them have some fun, and then at the end of the day, they're best friends. Cool, awesome, I love it. No, that is not a story. No. Yeah, so you cannot have your characters have no character development, and that's going to cause a heck of a lot of problems in your storyline. If you don't have that aha moment, if you don't have that internal conflict, nobody is going to care what your character does or why they're doing this. And the second mistake that I made was my one of my characters. I had two protagonists. I still have two protagonists, and his plans throughout the whole story, his desires, none of them were clear. I couldn't see a thing. I was like, what are you doing this entire time? So when you're writing, make sure those desires are pretty clear, because you have to reveal internal conflict, which we'll be talking about in the videos that we're about to watch. I'd also like to take a few minutes to talk about the villain and talk about two different roles that I've discovered over the past, I don't know how many months it's been, probably like 3. I don't really know, since June. But with that, let's talk about villains a little bit. I'm going to start out with the What If series. If you have not seen the What If series or the Loki series, then you might just want to skip ahead. I might put a timestamp somewhere on the screen someplace. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about one episode. So with Thanos, you have him in episode 2 of What If, and they took all that villain stuff that you had before and they just took it all away. And I think that's very important. If you can't take away their villainous plot, and you don't care about them after that, you better start over. Because if you can't start out with a character that we all care about and then make them kind of corrupt, then that's going to backfire. Nobody's going to care about your villain. They're just going to wait for the character, the main character, to show up and take over. And then when the villain comes back, you're like, okay, we have to watch them fight each other. Okay, that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see all the special effects. So, if you can't, and I highly encourage you to watch this What If episode and see what I'm talking about a little bit more in detail, but if you can't have your character, your villain, separated from their plot or their plans, then you have to completely start over. Same with the Loki series. We have Loki separated from his entire plot, and we're getting to see his character side a lot more. And I feel like this was a very smart move from Marvel, and I highly encourage you to watch this series as well. And in that series, I don't know the exact quote, but I know he said this in episode 5. He said, "I know what I did and I know why I did it." That is the whole villain premise right there, just in the simplest sentence ever. Because if your villain doesn't have a reason to fight for what they're doing, that's totally plot driven and not character driven one drop. You're not gonna have the motivation that you need, and it's not gonna be nearly as good. So if you are doing that, please stop. I encourage you to pump the brakes here and now. I'm very passionate about this subject because I actually like my villains a little bit more sometimes than my heroes. A little bit of a confession there. So I also would encourage you to watch Cruella and Maleficent that actually display this pretty perfectly, if you ask me, in some ways. So yeah, definitely go watch those because, again, we have their motivations. We have the entire character journey. Through that, it gives you some backstory, it gives you some motivation, and it gives you all of this amazingness, and it just wraps it up in a nice little happy package for you. So go ahead if you want and watch those movies. But, you know, these videos will also do pretty good service to you. So if you don't have access to them or you just don't feel like watching them, we'll already give you the tips, but it's nice to see a story example as well. And let's talk about character bonding exercises or activities. So this is after you've done all of the playlists, all of them, every single video that I link below. You have to watch the whole thing before you do these fun activities. This is the frosting on top of the little extra sprinkles, okay? So in these exercises, you can do, I didn't count the exercises. All I know is that I have a couple of them. Okay, so the first thing that you can do is actually draw your characters. This gives you some perspective of what your character looks like, and this is going to help you just see them clearly. I had to do this with several of my characters because it was frustrating me that I couldn't exactly see them in my head. My brain just doesn't picture my characters that great. It does for like 5 seconds and then it's just like, bing! That probably came from making audiobooks all my life. So, yeah, that's probably where that came from. But some things that you can do, like in the expressions, it's in their outfits, it's in all this just different elements about them. And that's also going to give you some more character development ideas as well from just by drawing them. It's pretty intensely amazing. So highly encourage that if you love artistic stuff. The second thing that we're going to be talking about is writing a short story with your character in it. It's super fun. Now, this you don't have to necessarily do. This is technically what I do when I'm out of story ideas and I just need my brain to reset. So that's what I do with this exercise normally. But it's also very good to realize what your character would act outside of a situation of a plot. So very simple example of this is put them in the TVA and see how they react to that. Because that is a one-size-fits-all situation, but every character is going to do something a little different. The second thing you can do is also very amazing, is kind of do what a what-if would be. You can even insert your characters in other previous Marvel lines if you're into that sort of thing. And just have fun with your characters and transforming that particular storyline. That is something that really helped me to shape another character of mine. And I'm just like, she doesn't feel real or relatable. And then I stuck her in this situation where she was actually playing the role of Doctor Strange. And that helped me so much in developing her character, like a lot. And another thing that you can do, and remember, this is within reason, be responsible with this next one, okay? Don't do anything dangerous or anything that could get you in trouble. You know, anything that a person in their right mind would not do, don't do it. And that is, do something that your character does in the story. So that is it for now, you guys. So I am very excited to see how all of our characters are going to be taking shape from this, and it's going to be super fun. Your characters are everything to the story. They're everything. They are the story. Don't ever forget that. Don't think that your plot is just all this crazy and stuff that happens all the time. Many movies were made like this, okay? We're talking big budget movies, and none of them ever stuck out. We're going to be talking about plot-driven, character-driven stories next week, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. So stay tuned for that. And have fun with your characters and just developing them, exploring their personalities and internal conflicts, misbeliefs, and everything else. See you guys later. Bye!